Committee to order. Just to those folks in the public who are talking, I just ask you if you need to continue gathering, I'd ask you to do so out in the hallway, as the Appointments Committee has now been called to order. Committee members present this evening are Councilors Green, Fleming, Caddy, Clark, and myself, President Kushmerek. The agenda will consist of the following this evening. There's just a single reappointment for the Fitchburg Housing Authority for a term to expire December 1st, 2022, of Ms. Linda E. Byrne, who is with us this evening. Good evening, Linda.
Hi, Mike. Thank you. I'm honored to be able to serve on this committee because we've gone through a major change in Fitchburg. Years ago, some of you were on the council at the time when Fitchburg went under the Leominster Management Program. And so, because we were having some problems in Fitchburg, well, now we seem to have stabilized those issues, and there's definitely a need for Fitchburg to have its own independent authority. So we have, fortunately, found Doug Bushman, who's very enthusiastic about being our executive director, and we're going to become an official single independent authority versus being under the Leominster Management Program. So that's a major transition, and we need that in Fitchburg because we're a big housing authority. And Doug has a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of energy and just interest in making a difference. And so I'm happy to be chairing that board and working with him, and I'm glad that I'm being reappointed.
Absolutely. Councilor Boschman.
Wasn't it the state that said that we had to go underneath Leominster? They wanted to make the housing authority regional? I didn't think it was Fitchburg. I thought it was the state that came in and said that we had to be regional.
Paul, they were trying to work on regional authorities where, see, there are a lot of little authorities. If you look at the authority that we're in now, we have Fitchburg and Leominster that are two large authorities, and then we have Lunenburg, Lancaster, and gosh, what's wrong with my brain? But anyway, we have another small towns. So what they're trying to do is put little authorities who can't afford executive directors with a larger authority, so that then those little authorities, those little programs, could get more bang for the buck, so to speak. Fitchburg only went into that program because we were having problems. For those of you that were here at the time, you might remember that we had some management was weak, and we were having a lot of issues, and the state came in and suggested that we combine with Leominster to kind of rebuild ourselves. But we're too big an authority to stay in a regional one like that. They try to put little ones together with one big one.
Okay.
That is the way.
All right.
they
Now, my
design it.
question to you, now, is the city going to pay if we hire him?
Councilor Boschman, I'd like to keep this to the context of Ms. Byrne's appointment. So if you have something specific about her appointment and what she hopes to accomplish, I'd permit that. If you have questions about the housing authority.
But I can answer that question. No, that's paid for by the federal and the state government.
Okay. My question to you, on the Fitchburg Housing Authority, I drive around the state quite a bit, and I notice quite a few empty apartments. Normandy Road, Daniel Heights, different areas of the city. And yet, we have a waiting list in Fitchburg for housing. And why is that? Why is the houses on Normandy Road empty? I can tell you one house was empty for about 3 years.
I know that, well, you don't want to get into being a housing meeting, but the reason for that is that we were redoing several of those apartments because of mold problems. There was a lot of runoff that went from the roofs into the cellars, and that's why there were several empties. And they're on a waiver right now, and they're being fixed. I know it doesn't look like much from the outside. That's why Mr. Bushman that's what he's going to work on. But the inside, we've done a lot of internal repair, and that's why you see that. But no, it's on its way to getting rid of the vacancies, to answer your question.
All right.
Now, Daniels Heights, there's 100% full up there, I know right now, because I just saw those figures at the last meeting.
The reason why I asked you that, because I own an apartment house across the street, and I see what's going on up there.
Yeah.
And I'm quite frank with you, some of the things that I see, I'm not really that happy with.
I know, that's why we need to have our own independent authority. I agree with you.
Counselor Green.
Again, I want to just commend the effort that you're making towards that, because Fitchburg is its own community and should be in charge of its own housing authority. So I commend the effort for both of you to take that on. So we look forward to, again, good, positive changes to get the organization back and running as a business with best business practices in place and transparency. So we look forward to that.
Thanks, Amy, thank you.
Linda, you're a lifelong resident of the city, a former city councilor, a longtime member of the Housing Authority, and now the new chair, and thrilled to have your experience, your expertise in that role. We certainly need it, and the people and the residents of Fitchburg certainly deserve the leadership and the experience that you bring to the table. So thank you for your continuing willingness and your service to this city in this capacity.
Thank you, Councilor Krishnarik.
Motion to approve the reappointment.
Second.
I have a motion and second to approve the reappointment. Speaking on the motion, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? It is unanimous. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion and second to
Merry
adjourn.
Christmas.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you, councilors. We'll begin the council as a whole committee meeting in approximately 5 minutes.